What's cracking with you people? Ananta here and welcome back to Jak 2. In the last one, we did a few missions for crew. We surfed through the sewers, as you do. We retrieved an old artifact from a priceless, well, art piece that crew borrowed. And we went to the Metalhead Forest. I died once. And hunted down a bunch of combat metalheads that should not be scouting that close to the forest, even for the deal that we know the Baron cut with them. In this one, well, let me check the map here. I usually don't check the map during gameplay just because I don't like doing it. But if I'm correct, yes. Well, let's go ahead and get this one out the way because this is one of the harder missions in the game. And I did a hit and run and cost someone's life, and the guards don't even blink an eye. And see, you can see the light in the distance there. So what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be doing the first of a, well, trilogy of missions that will lead us to something very specific later on. Let's drop down here. And if you'll note on the minimap, you can kind of see it. It has that symbol for the House of Mar that we saw the young kid wearing throughout the game, you know. So yeah, and we're getting this from Bruder. It's his way of thanking us for helping out with saving his lurker, you know, his lurker people. And he's just preferring the family because he's just a really decent stand-up dude, which I guess as you are if you're which is surprisingly optimistic for a guy who is in a class of people who get, you know, sold into slavery and stuff like that and treated as little more than cattle. So it's very interesting to see that happen. But yeah, this is going to be our first of trilogy missions, which revolve around him, and it's going to be, if my memory serves correct, I hope I'm not jumping the gun here, is the easiest of the three, but they're still pretty hard. And you can pretty much figure it out the moment we get there, but I won't say anything till the second mission about what it actually is. Just know that it is an important mission, but it's weird how they treat it in context to the story, you know, and we'll get to that when we get to it. Okay, and here we go. The hardest, one of the harder missions in the game. Let's just say I hope you memorized your way through this area. And I'm going to assume this is Bruder's house, which tells you that this is pretty much where a lot of the lurkers live.
Is it? Piece of seal, yes? Nice and shiny, huh? All yours. Uh-oh, I think Red Trooper's approaching.
Yeah, that is a piece of the seal to the House of Mar, as Bruder just said. I think that should do it right now. Okay. And yeah, this is a very important piece, and you can all tell it's something that's obviously the Baron wants, as since he's sending his guys after us right now. Oh crap! I forgot about that. Always watch the mini-map. So yeah, this is why this is one of the harder missions in the game. What you gotta do now is, I'm going to assume because the Baron knows about this, he sends his goons in. So what's going to happen now is that you have to make your way through the slums on foot. You cannot jump into water because there is a automatic defense system that will gun you down the moment you even try. Even on a jet board, it will kill you in one shot. Surprising that he hit that shot without killing anybody. Oh boy, that went the wrong way. I now have to deal with these guys again. Oh crap! Well, show it off now. Like I said, there it is. Okay. I was hoping to avoid doing that, but gotta do it. So this is one of the trickier missions in the game, just because of how much stuff they just throw at you. So it helps to have memorized the way around here for your own sanity. And the Crimson Guard will be coming at you from a lot of angles. So do not let your guard down, or else you are going to get surrounded and carted off to Crimson Guard jail. You and shoot. Grab some ammo here. So yeah, just be careful you don't go so far in one direction that you trigger the checkpoints again for the guys to respawn, because they're going to be coming at you for a while. Also, you might want to keep running, guys. Come on. Look, buddy. I'm trying not to shoot you, but you keep running into my line of fire, so I'm just going to have to keep doing it. Okay. My boomstick, baby. No, I was wrong with that one. Okay. Get a little bit of ammo here, max out, and then we're gonna run. Don't mind me. On the jet board. Okay. And dead, baby. Didn't get all of them, but I got enough. Yeah, I think this is the trickier part, because you can get surrounded by at least three different patrols or troops. Recommend just running first chance you get. Because what you want to do is you want to try to exhaust the Crimson Guard coming out of the drop ships as soon as possible, so you can go as fast as so you can get through here. Otherwise, you are going to get shot like crazy and die. Keep going. Keep moving and grooving, baby. I'm a confident on the run. And before you guys know, they don't stop coming. That's a Smash Mouth song. They don't come coming. They don't stop coming. They don't stop coming. They don't stop coming. Come on. Come on. Okay. So far so good. I'm dead. Okay, the moment I said something's when I die. That's usually how it works. Oh boy. Okay, one more time. Come on. You may be wondering how I can hit some of these guys without looking at them. Well, let's just say the auto aim is a blessing here. There's my boomstick. Just don't use too much ammo in a lot of your guns. That way you'll pretty much respawn only the ammo for the gun you're using. And like I said, the blaster rifle is going to be your best friend. Keep moving. Okay, keep it moving. And yeah, when I say these guys don't stop coming, that's because they respawn in every single spot in front of you well, in front, behind, and to the side of you that is relevant to the loading of the game. So yeah, it's like I'm doing this wave right here. I'm gonna run past here, and they're gonna spawn right behind me. So just keep running. They bottleneck me. Also doesn't help that there are civilians around. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm getting so much ammo, it's not even funny. Okay. Okay. Gonna pull back a little bit. Okay. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Kinda wish I still the dark track for my— oh, you've got to be kidding me. Guys, this is a bit much. This is a bit much. This is a bit much, guys. This is a bit much. Nope, 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 nope. I have not had this much from the police since I was 13. Come on. Ah, crap. Ah, almost there. Almost there. There are no checkpoints either. Alright, we're probably gonna cut till I get to that part again. Okay, I made it through that entire thing on one shot of health, and they're probably going to kill me here and now, because that's usually how my luck goes. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. So yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit that I died on that more times than I care to admit. That's on me. That is, well, not even on me, that's just due to the nature of just how challenging that last sprint is. But you are going to die, don't try to fight it, just deal with it. And since we are this close to dying, what we're going to do to try to avoid this, we're gonna go to a mission. Come on! I'm safe! I'm safe!
We destroyed Crew's cargo.
Great! I'll send you a medal. Now, if you don't mind, I'm on a deadline, so scram!
Are you always this difficult?
Let me handle this, Jack. Listen, lady, we beat your stupid course, and we can outrace anybody in this city.
Wait, that voice.
Now, there's just two things you need to know. One, we don't want to join your stinking race team. And two, you just lost a date with Orange Lightning. Let's go, Jack.
Daxter! It is you!
Mira!
Oh, I never thought I'd be so glad to see your furry mug. And Jack, you look different.
It's been a tough ride.
The Baron pumped our boy here full of Dark Eco, and it did something to him. Now he's got super moves or something. And a few anger issues as well.
I've been looking for you guys forever. And planning a way to get us back home. Somehow that rift took us far into the future. I've calculated the time displacement, and
We
I think
found your
I've got it.
father. Well, sort of.
Working with the underground fighting the Baron. But he's,
What?
You need to go see him. And I need to get to the Baron.
You could try to win the Class 1 Racing Championship. The winner of that big race always gets to meet the Baron in the palace. But you have to qualify by winning the lower class races. There's a Class 3 race starting soon. You can drive for my team. But Jack, we should think about getting out of here. I don't like this place, and some of the people are creepy.
Jack, my boy, I need that ruby key you found, eh? A special client has requested it.
Sorry about that, crew. I must have forgotten.
Right.
Dun dun
Attention all
dun!
citizens. The Class 3 race is about to begin.
So for anyone who didn't recognize her voice, yeah, that was Kira. That was Kira. And that's about it. Yeah. I mean, if you didn't recognize her voice or the silhouette of her hair, you know, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But it's nice seeing her again, you know, and she plays honestly a more interesting role inside the story this time around than she did inside the original game. Because the original game, it was Samus and Kira pretty much played a very relaxed pose. Look at those 2D sprite images. But yeah, I do like it in this game, and I like how it took. If you think about it, you might be wondering, well, why didn't you recognize Jack's voice? Well, remember in the original game, Jack was mute, so it took her hearing someone she didn't remember hearing to what's the word I'm looking for here? To let her hitch on that, yeah, this is someone she knows. So when she heard Daxter's voice, she automatically knew, oh, I know who that is. Also, there is something. I'm not gonna make this jump. I did. Okay. Okay. So. Okay, I'm gonna hold that tangent for a second here. I gotta talk about these races. So we're gonna be doing a series of races right now. Well, not all at once. They happen sporadically throughout the story, much like the Brooder token missions. And I love these racing moments. You know, it shows Naughty Dog's pedigree of racing with the what's the one for here? The Crash Team Racing games. And while it is with the air bike controls, and they do control well enough with this particular bike, it does take some getting used to. I'm gonna let you know right now, you're going to want to get used to using shortcuts. You're going to want to get used to using shortcuts, understanding the timing of the shortcuts, and understanding that when you jump over ramps, you actually get a lot more speed and a lot more consistent acceleration, or else you're going to lose a lot of these races more often than not. Also, another thing to mention, these bikes will detonate. You do too much damage to them, they will smoke like they are right now. Wasn't intending to demonstrate that at the moment, and you will lose the race. And these are 5-lap races, so yeah. And if you die, you don't get another. You don't pick up where you left off. You know, this isn't. They won't implement that mechanic to a much later game that we will get to soon, hopefully. I'm probably gonna lose this right here, so. And okay, dead. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that one because I overjumped that. But yeah, just keep in mind that these racing missions are not hard in the traditional sense of just racing. They're difficult in the sense that the vehicle mechanics are the same mechanics that you've been working with throughout the game. You know, the only difference is that these things go much faster, so your jump has a lot more reach, and they don't have a. Oh crap! Okay, so yeah, just don't jump over that ramp. That's my bad. I forgot. I thought I had to. You don't have to. And these races will take some trial and error. Don't feel like you have to get them on your first try. I try to all the time because I was used to it at the time. Now I'm not, so I'm making stupid bonehead mistakes. But yeah, you want to memorize where it is you can jump to shorten your time on the main track and get further in the lead. You want to use your boost when you feel you can get away with it, and you want to avoid taking as much damage as possible. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that while the physics apply to you, they also apply to the other racers. So if you want to make it easier on yourself, one thing you can do is you can... I wish I didn't jump earlier. You can,
Move over, buddy.
you know, kill the competition, foreshadowing, and make it easier on yourself. Another thing to keep in mind is that as you get further and further into the races, into the cups, what's going to end up happening is that the AI will also use these shortcuts. Wow, I'm gonna have to reset again. Okay, hopefully it'll be the last time. And down we go. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm still trying to get back used to this. Another thing that I forgot you can do is that at the start of certain races, the AI will do things to try to hinder. Oh, just made it. They'll do things to try to stop you from getting a significant advantage. What you want to do in those instances is jump over the racers to get a better advantage on them. So yeah. Because unlike a lot of other racing games, I'm looking at you, Mario Kart, the racing that, at least in the Jak series, with Jak 2, Jak 3 as well, and the Jak X, is a much more skill-based racing game. The AI, I don't feel rubber bands, if that makes any sense. Like, you have your boost power-ups. You have your basic mechanics and you have your damage mechanics. So if you're a good racer, you should get through this not needing to you should get through this relatively comfortably. Like if you look down the minimap, you can see most of the racers are now taking the shortcuts. Instead of rubber banding, I think what the AI does is it gets more aggressive. It'll get more liberal with the boosting, and it will use shortcuts more often to close the gap with you. So what you need to do is you need to just stay on top of it, you know? I just made it. If you don't catch that lip just right, you can do a lot of damage to your bike, and it will slow you down. So what you want to do is you don't want to drive recklessly, because you will be punished for hitting the wall too many times. You want to take advantage of the shortcuts, like I said 1,000 times before, and you want to use your boost smart. You don't want to be, you know, trying to power slide and everything. So yeah, a little bit of damage there, but I should be fine on the last lap anyway. And these missions will get harder as the story progresses. Like the second to last mission, oh, that one is hard. That one is a hard one. I would argue it's the hardest one out of the races you do for Heroes Team. And I don't know why, it just is. It's probably because of the shortcuts, probably because of how aggressive the AI is. But yeah, it is a challenge to get through. But they are a lot of fun and very rewarding once you do it. And that's the race. You came in third place. Let's move on.
When is this city gonna provide some challenge, huh?
Hey, I watched your race today. You were pretty amazing out there.
Oh, thanks. Kira, this is Ashlyn. She's just...
Everyone knows who she is.
And Kira's,
A friend. A very good friend.
Thanks for helping out with that tanker, Jack. You saved a lot of lives. I'm not my father, you know. Ever since I was a little girl, I've looked down at the city streets from that ridiculous palace and imagined a better place.
By the way, they're hunting for you. I'd watch out for Errol. I can't protect you from him.
Whoa, she's a Betty. And she likes you, Jack. Not that I can account for her tastes. I bet you'd love to pin some medals on her chest, huh? What? What'd I say? What did you say, Jack?
Daxter. Daxter is simultaneously the best wingman and the worst wingman. And we'll get into this aspect of the story in the next one. We're a little over time. Actually, let's go ahead and get to Vin, and I'll go ahead and bring up a few things that that this particular mission brought up that really, one of them is accounted for in a decent manner, and one isn't. So first things first, most recent one, well actually 3 things. As you can see here, we have the racing things, and as you go through the game, these posters will change to reflect the current racer. Now, as Ashlyn said, the Baron is hunting for you, and since you were just in a very public event, you think he would just come get you, but once again, the Baron doesn't know where Jack is. He wasn't expecting him to be a racer, and he's a favorite to win the competition, so he just kind of lets him get through with it. There's also a lot more going on at the meantime that you probably won't expect as you go through, which shows a feeling about the Baron, but we'll get to it when we get to it. Number 2, the Ashlyn Kira love triangle. Well, I can't say I don't like it. I think it's alright, but it's not wrapped up really well. Put it like this. I want to go ahead and spoil this for you right now, but they don't. When they wrap it up in one, because they do come to a conclusion, and they have to come to 3 different conclusions, like legit 3 different conclusions. One at the end of this game, one in Jak 3, and one in Jak X. And we'll get more into those when they come up. So we're gonna save those for a later date, so I have something to talk about, not waste my talking points early on. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I like what they do with it for the most part, but they do make some missteps, which I feel like is a major problem for Naughty Dog's writing going forward. That's just me personally. And number 2, and then finally, is something to do with Kira's reaction to seeing Jak. It's a reaction that happens in the game and is only really warranted once in terms of the context. Kira knows that Jak is different, It's probably the look in his eye, the mean look on his face, that kind of thing, He's a little more grizzled now due to his 2 years in prison and his time fighting the Baron. Makes sense. He still cracks jokes, you can still see it as old Jak underneath there, but he's really not in as much of a joking mood as he could be. But every character who sees him reacts as if it's Dark Jak they're seeing. You know what I mean? And it's only warranted once, and that was at the beginning of the game when Jak goes dark mode in front of Core and the boy. Unfortunately, every other time in the game, it's not warranted because Jak doesn't lose himself. And I feel like just having a few more instances where Jak lost control in the middle of a cutscene. Actually, no way, I think about 2 times, because he lost control once, almost murdered Daxter. Lost control again, got everybody out of that situation. I feel like if he lost control a few more times in a scripted cutscene, there'll be a lot more dramatic weight to the series. And I know I'm spoiling that up front, but they really don't do much with Dark Jak as a narrative element in this game, And that's something that has bugged me going back to the series for a long time. I still think it works because Jak, as demeanor-wise, very different than he was in Jak 2 and Jak and Daxter. I mean, look at his face right now. There's a very, very displeased look on his face, as opposed to Jak and Daxter, where he seemed very upbeat and happy. It's just that the way people react, it feels like they should have implemented Dark Jak more in the cutscenes. I mean, specifically the cutscenes where he loses control, you don't have any control over them, over the events, and he goes on a psychotic rage every now and then. I feel like that would be more interesting. That's just me. And we'll get into that more and more as the story goes on. Either way, I've been Anansi, you've been awesome, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!